on the morning of the day that President Obama is going to make his announcement about the United States strategy for involvement in Afghanistan. This is the reason for the urgency of our conversation today. We would have had this press conference anyway because we have felt, as women working with Afghan women on the ground, that there has been a conspicuous and disturbing absence of the issues related to women's human rights in the national debate about what the U.S. strategy should be. So our main purpose in being here today is to shine the light on issues affecting women and girls in Afghanistan and to insist that this is the central issue in the national discourse on U.S. involvement in Afghanistan. We also, Women for Afghan Women, in our work day to day with women and girls in Afghanistan, see reasons to be hopeful about progress that is taking place in Afghanistan. The situation in Afghanistan for women is treacherous, dire. The reason we exist, the reason we do our work in, at the moment, 3 cities in Afghanistan, Kapisa, Kabul, and Mazar, is that every day women come to our centers and our shelters because of awful violations of human rights, rape, domestic violence, forced marriage, barred transactions where little baby girls are transacted, given from one family to another because of the crime perpetrated by one family against the other. This is the sort of thing that brings women and girls to our centers and our shelters. And yet, the reason that we say that we are optimistic for the future of Afghanistan is because the women and girls do come, because we are operating in Afghanistan, because we are, in 2010, hopefully expanding to 2 more cities, because last week we opened a children's residence in Kabul where all the children who are above age of 5 in Kabul women's prison, just languishing in the prison because their mothers were arrested. We have opened a residence for them, and these children are now in our residence. They go to school, they will have therapy, they will have art and music and sports. None of this will be possible if the US and other international forces do not maintain a presence in Afghanistan and do not maintain the level of security that is needed for such work to take place. This is the reason why these issues are urgent for us to speak about, for us to inject into the national discourse, and to bring the voices and perspective of the Afghan people into our perceptions and our dialogue on this issue. This is why we are here today. The progress that I'm talking about has taken 8 years to achieve. It is slight, it is modest, it is just the beginning. And if the direction of the US involvement reverses and we in any way diminish our commitment to Afghanistan, that progress will be obliterated overnight. And we will be back in the dark ages before 9/11, where women did not have freedom of movement. They were flogged in the street for small infractions, and as we all remember the images that we saw of women who were publicly executed. This is what will happen. We are certain of this if the U.S. withdraws from the United States, from Afghanistan. Women. The 3 of us, Masuda, Esther, and I, are board members of Women for Afghan Women, and we could have held a press conference by ourselves. We are movement builders. We are part of the women's movement of this country and in Afghanistan, and we collaborate, and we are not in this struggle alone. We are proud to have with us allies from other organizations, leaders in the women's movement in Afghanistan and America. We have Rachel Reed of Human Rights Watch, Ellie Smeal of Feminist Majority Foundation, and Palwa Shah Hassan, newly of United States Institute for Peace. I will introduce them as they just before they speak, but wanted to emphasize the point that this is a collaborative effort. We come together in front of you to make a strong case for staying with the women of Afghanistan, keeping our moral commitment to that country. The alternative isn't an option.